Hello there. So today I came home and something came up in class that really made me think that this is a good talking point. And let me title it Novice to Expert. And this can be in any field, not just in nursing. But there is a book actually out in nursing called Novice to Expert. Nurses are pretty hard on each other and they're hard on themselves. And one of the students actually came up with a point today that made me realize that this is a very good talking point. She finally realized that her that she can do something. She said, "Thank you for this lecture because now I know that I can do this. I can learn how to do this." And there is a lot of fear of working in certain environments. First of all, they're international nurses, so obviously it's very different than in other countries. And the other thing is, as they're doing their clinical, they are feeling more confident, but at the same time, there's this feeling of, oh, wow, can I do this? So here's the thing. We all start out as novices. When I graduated from nursing, I thought, oh my God, I don't know anything. After 4 years of university, I was petrified. And I asked lots of questions, and I was working in a really, really good team that was very helpful and very supportive. And I was very lucky that way. They also laughed at me a lot, said, "Oh, Peroshka." But then that happens to me anytime anyway. So anybody that's worked with me, you know who I am. So I don't have to go into great detail. But the important thing is, I didn't become an expert in a short time. It took me a long time, hard work, doing things over and over and over. And that doesn't matter if you're a fireman, if you're a paramedic, if you are a graphic artist designer, if you are a manager, if you work in a factory, if you're a tool and die maker. You may know how to do something and it took you have basic knowledge, but actually to get to that conscious competence, unconscious competence, it took you time, sometimes years, doing something over and over. So what I would like to encourage anyone who goes into any field or that's different or new to stop feeling like I have to be an expert, I have to know everything. No, you don't. Basics, you start with basics. But what's more important, and I think this is starting to be missed by a lot of educational systems as well as even students, it's not what you know and how much you know, it's what you do with what you know. It's how you connect the dots. So, how do you solve a problem? How do you identify that there's a problem, and how do I find a solution? And also, how do I critically think and appraise the situation as to what I'm going to do next and what information am I going to use? Today, there's so much. I mean, there's a plethora of information on everything. And in healthcare, we just about keep track of everything and we have a study on anything and everything. So you really have to know how to critically appraise and think about, does this make sense? And I think the other problem is that there are people who think they work a few years, they get a master's degree, haven't worked very much hands on, don't have a lot of experience, and all of a sudden they're experts at everything. So be careful when some people tend to become sudden experts because there's a lot of marketing out there or a lot of tricks that to get people to follow you or to get business, you've got to, put your best foot forward. Absolutely you do. But when you do that, make sure you actually got it because people sooner or later will find out. So it's better not to know and ask questions and learn versus pretend to know and fall flat on your face. On the other hand, being confident, knowing what you know, and starting from a good base, learning step by step, and being patient with yourself and others. And I invite also those really senior nurses to remember the days when they first started. We didn't know everything. We learned from each other. I've learned so much from nurses that I've worked with. I could name all of them. They all taught me something. I wouldn't be here today if it wasn't for all my colleagues, and I feel like crying because truly I've worked with some amazing everybody, nurses, doctors, physiotherapists, social workers, everyone. So we all need to remember how we're going to do something, where we're going to do it, what we're going to do, what resources am I going to use to get this done? Do I have a solution to this problem, or do I need to go somewhere else to get this? What is that I know for sure, and what is that I don't know? And how do I go about finding out what I don't know? And most importantly, it is okay to ask for help. So on that note, this was a little bit of a longer video, but I really would like to encourage anyone in any field to be patient with themselves, to allow themselves to be a novice. Because when you're a novice, or even when you're an expert, you can be curious. You can have a sense of wonder. I wonder, how does that work? How do I do this? And at the same time, you can have fun and play with it versus be so serious. So on that note, wishing you all an amazing weekend. I hope you can be a novice and an expert at some things, but not at all things. I know I feel like I'm a novice all the time because I am learning from all of my students and all of my colleagues. So on that note, have a wonderful weekend and see you guys all next time.